Oh, y'all, this is a lot, but this is a story time about how I broke my celibacy after a year and a half. I was literally minding my own business. Let me give you where I was. Let me paint the picture to let you know where I was at this point in my life. So at this point in my life, I am just, wanting to live right, want to do right, walking with God, read my Bible, praying, all the things. I made a vow to God. I said, God, I am going to save myself for marriage. I am not going to be involved with any other man. I know the significance of it now. Before, I didn't really understand the significance of actually laying down with a man and the soul ties and all the things. I didn't know about the spiritual aspect of it, but at this point, I did. I was fully aware. So here I am at the post office, minding my own business. I had to drop off a package for a customer. My mama wanted me to pick her up some stamps, so I did that. Now, this is a post office that I've never been to in my life. I've never been here before, but I put in a GPS and it was the closest post office to me. So it's tax day. It's April 15th, so the post office is packed. And I waited in line to get the stamps because, that's what my mama needed. So I leave out the post office and I go sit in my car and I'm sending a voice message to my sister. Now, we send voice messages and they be like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 minutes long because we be having a lot to say. We don't live in the same city and state, so that's how we communicate. So I'm sitting in my car and I just finished a voice message and I look up and I see to the left of me probably one of the finest men that I've ever seen. I won't say in my life, but in a very, very long time. So I was immediately intrigued, you know what I'm saying? Like, I haven't seen somebody look so fine in my type of way in such a long time. So naturally, I'm like, okay, let me get myself together. Let me put my lip gloss on. Let me make sure my edges is on point, So he goes into the post office, do what he gotta do. Of course, I'm over here like, playing it, keeping it cute. I'm not doing too much. I'm not drawing attention to me. So he walks into the post office, and when he walks in, I roll down my window so I can be noticed. So I'm sitting here in the car, like, waiting until he get out a little bit. And then I was like, you know what, girl? Like, what are you doing? You're tripping. Go home. So as I was leaving, as I was putting my car into reverse, he walks outside. So I'm like, I guess it's meant to be. I'll stay. So at this point, I'm not expecting anything. However, I'm like, let me just make myself available just in case he wants to say something. So I had my window down. I was minding my own business. I was looking at my phone or something. I wasn't, making eye contact with him or anything like that. At this point, my thought process is, if it's meant to be, it'll be. If not, I'm cool. Like, I'm not tripping. So then the first thing he asked me is, are you married? And I'm like, he's talking marriage. Look at me. Just dumb, okay? And I was like, no. He was like, oh, okay, I saw you had a ring on your finger. I had a ring on my middle finger. And I was like, it's, my middle finger, whatever. And so he says, you're very beautiful, by the way. And I was like, thank you. He said, can I come talk to you for a second? And I was like, sure. At this point, I'm like, bagged him, got him, we in there. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay, girl, you still that girl. You got it. Oh, child, if I knew then what I knew now. So then he come over, we chop it up for a minute. We really talked for like a good solid maybe 15 to 20 minutes in the parking lot. Like, we was having really good conversation. So, of course, he asked for my phone number. I give it to him. And he hits me up like an hour later and asks me out on a date. So, we go on a date the very next day. Like, the very next day we went on a date. It doesn't even matter. We went on a date. We ate, like, fruit bowls and things like that. And we just talked and walked. And it was real cute. Now, let me tell you where the red flags came in and I began to ignore them. So we're leaving the date and we're going back to the parking lot where we parked. And we're still having conversation. Like, we literally was probably on a date for like 6 hours. Like, we was just talking the entire time. The conversation was good. We didn't really want to leave each other. So we started talking about deal breakers. And he asked me what were my deal breakers. And, of course I asked him. And this is where things started getting weird for me, and I don't know why. So he asked me what my deal breakers was, and naturally, I would say a man that's not a Christian or a man that doesn't have a relationship with God or Christ. But what I said was a man that isn't led by God. And he was like, okay, cool, bad. But he didn't really, go into depth about a relationship with God. Red flag number one for me. Of course, if I'm a woman who wants to live in relationship with God, If I'm a woman who wants to be led by a man who has a relationship with God, that's for sure a red flag, But anyway, I ignored it and I continued to engage in conversation with him. And we continued to, date. Also, another thing, he said that he was like, I have a relationship. What did he say? I have a relationship with God, but I don't really read my Bible. I don't really read the Bible. I can't really give you any scriptures. And what else did he say? I think that was pretty much, he doesn't go to church. And for me, I wasn't really tripping on that because I don't go to church either. I don't have a church home myself, so I couldn't really judge him on that matter. But I still should have been like, And I kind of was, but not enough, I guess.
If Jesus can't save these hoes, why are you trying? What make you think you greater than Jesus, nigga?
Look, fellas, here's the reality, bro. Whenever you meet a woman and she says that she's celibate, just understand that she's full of shit. Usually, women say that when they are looking for a sucker, when they are in their stage of life where they are done messing with the players and they desperately trying to find a sucker to marry them. So then they try to be like, I'm celibate. Like if that's supposed to make them a good girl. Like if that's supposed to make them a virtuous woman, as if that's supposed to erase their past. So that shit is all cool until she bump into a guy that she's into and he is going to break her down like it ain't nothing. The fact that she said she's celibate will be out the window. So the bottom line is this, fellas. If you meet a woman and she tells you, that she's celibate, just understand she thinks you're a sucker. She thinks you're a good guy, all right? Who is going to save her? So if a woman say that shit to you, fam, just know that she's full of shit. Because if she meet the right guy, if she meet the player that she's used to, that shit is out the window. Fellas, be wise out here.
Gloss Up says she can call her ex Huncho anytime she wants, so that's why her boyfriend is mad.
Y'all, I met the on the expressway, y'all. I liked him, I did. But at the same time, you cannot change people. You cannot change nobody. So, like, I just feel like when you're in a relationship, whatever you do, fall back on you. Like, if you out here doing shit, she gonna come back on me. So, it went from there. I'm like, I can't be with nobody like that because me, I believe in karma. I feel like if you do bad, bad gonna follow you. You get what I'm saying? I just fucking with nobody since they fell off. I stopped fucking with them. I feel like I've been constantly letting you do this and letting you do this. And in your mind, you 34. In your mind, you was a child. In your mind, one minute you be like, I want to fly planes. The next minute, I want to build buildings. The next minute, I want to drive school buses. Like, I literally be looking upside this head like, you know how when you in kindergarten, they be like, what do you want to be when you grow up? Y'all, and I tell you this 34 and he think he can do everything and ain't did shit. Ain't moved forward to doing nothing. I cannot be with you because you going to slow me down from what I got to do. So at the beginning, the shit was not on no disrespectful. I'm just like, I just can't do it. But then kept talking, and I picked my phone up and I just called the motherfucker I know that's there for me, that been there for me and gonna forever be there for me. That's what happened. And he started losing his rabbit ass mind from there. Just a second, had to get up out my house.
This right here is sad, bro. And here's the reality, fellas. This is what happens when y'all go after these birds. These birds will disrespect y'all every chance they get. This is how she's talking about a man that she's with. This is how she's talking about her boyfriend. She's talking down on a man that she decided to be with. She made that decision knowing who he is. And this is what transpires with other birds, right? A bird will make bad decisions and then she's gonna act like you're supposed to feel bad for her. She's gonna act like it's not her fault why she made that bad decision. She's acting like it's not her fault why she chose to be with that type of man. And to make matters worse, she chose to disrespect that man and call her ex-boyfriend. Sad. Crazy out here, man. Fellas, keep away from these low-hanging fruits, man. Keep away from these birds. These birds will forever keep disrespecting y'all, dog. This right here is crazy.
That shit is crazy.
Look, this is why I be telling y'all dudes, if a woman is a bird at 5, she's gonna be a bird at 50. That energy never leaves a woman. Even if she have kids, even if she becomes a mother, she can't get rid of that bird energy. It just becomes her. And the sad part about it, she passed that bird energy down to her kids as well. Like if she got a daughter, here's the thing. A bird could only raise a bird. And it's like I always say, fam, the only people who suffers the most in situations like this are the kids. Imagine her thinking this is cool. She's just telling the world why she's a bop. Fellas, when it comes to choosing a woman to have kids with, fam, you gotta be very selective. Get to know her first. Because if you have a kid with a bird, this is gonna be the outcome. Sad. If you haven't yet, go get you some of that merch. Y'all already know, don't feed the birds. That's what it is. We don't feed the birds over here. So if you rock with your boy, go get you some of that good merch.